projects and things and goals we want to get to. And if I ask anybody else, rattle my cage, and I will filter them out, present them back to the committee and to the board.
Thank you, Roger. Quick question for you, sir. Do we have any time frame when we're going to start seeing some of the overall goals and material like that coming to the board?
That's a good question, because Marcia's gone already to Washington, and myself are at the meeting before the next task meeting. So we're going to be hopefully online.
Okay.
Some ideas around. I'm going to try and get that, like I say, from goals from the rest of the community, my neighbors, and whoever. Get that collated before I get out here.
And you'll hand that information over to the board, I mean to the management as well,
yes.
So they can continue on with those, not only you, but those that are here?
Right.
Okay.
You betcha.
Thank you, sir.
It's end of June, if I remember right.
I think it's July.
End of July.
I think we can probably get there even with that. We still have two committee members that haven't been there, but I'm sure if they could get them on board at some point in time down the road, we'll
Can we do it earlier? Can we do it earlier?
we'll see.
Are you
And
volunteering to
there's
help?
a possibility if I'm not sure how Marcia would get hers, but I'm sure she has some. She had an excellent thing with this little sheet that she brought. That was just magnificent bit of work on her part, and like I said, I was amazed at how the ones that I came up with my sheet dovetailed with hers,
Okay.
which gives me, wow, we're chugging along at the same concept.
Okay. As far as the committee meets, you have at least the majority, a quorum there at every meeting. Does it look like we're having any problems
I
there?
think we've had 4, at least the last 2.
Okay, so 4 out of 7, that's okay. Okay, thank you very much.
So we're chugging.
Okay, with that, we now go into old business, which would be the first item up, will be the Solera Twin Peaks Erosion Project. And we need to make a motion approving the updated proposal with the clarification of who will pay and who will do what, and get everything done on this one. As we were before, I'll start with you, Tim.
Yeah, we need the motion.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
Okay,
sharing with you.
I'll make the motion I made last time, which is that we approve completing the work at the Solera erosion project. The total $3,500's been paid. There's a balance of $8,210. However, Gothic has agreed to pick up the $2,010 of that, so we would basically just be paying. Well, we'd be paying the difference between the $3,500 and the $9,700, which is the original bid. So we'd be paying, what is the math there?
Don't ask me.
Don't ask me. 62. We would be paying $6,200 more, or not more, but to complete the Solera project. And we take Gothic up on their offer to absorb the $2,010 that was above the original estimate.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second?
That was the motion.
That was the motion.
No, I'm not seconding it.
Okay, with no one seconding this motion, do we have another motion?
I'll make a motion that we don't ask Gothic to cover that $2,010. I make a motion that we ask Solera to cover the difference of $2,010 and that we still pay the $6,200.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second? We have a second. We have discussion from the board.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll start the discussion. Said last time, Gothic has agreed to absorb the cost as part of their good business practices. And I think it's, seems unnecessary to ask Solera to pay $1,000 for something that the contractor, the business, an outside business has already agreed to pay for.
I think that we shouldn't ask Gothic to pay for it because the bulk of the $2,010 is just aesthetics. It's a difference in how they want it to look and how it can be done. So I don't think that the master HOA should take on that expense. I think that Solera should take on the expense of $2,010.
Yes, sir.
I've done a little bit of research. It's not just aesthetics.
I said no.
The fact that the reason for the additional expense, if I'm correct, is the curvature of the channel. The reason the channel is curved is to make sure that the flow coming off the mountain is coming off quickly. You notice in the report it says you have the curvature at the top of the mountain, and then at the bottom it flattens out. The reason for that is to get the water off the mountain and then slow it down when it hits the flat part so it doesn't puddle. So it actually is an engineering improvement. It's something called hydraulic efficiency. So there is it's more than just aesthetic.
The other thing, if I could just add two things real quick. One, there's a little bit more work, just labor that would have happened regardless of the way it's done. When we started excavating, there's some major rocks that were uncovered that have to be jackhammered out. And number two, I love you for not wanting us to pay for it. We're happy to do it though, just to move this on. And I sincerely mean that.
Okay. Connie, do you have anything on this?
I guess based on what he said,
Okay.
Is based on what he said, is it like a 50-50 thing, or the aesthetics versus the engineering part?
It's both. So there's more labor in the way the riprap is done. Just with the way the concrete, placing the rocks versus putting the cement over it and just kind of leaving it, letting it dry. So there's a little more as far as that goes. We could do it quicker, but
In and of itself, it's not a big thing.
it's not a big thing.
Sandy, do you have anything on this?
No, with his explanation, it's a little bit clearer.
Okay.
As to what it was.
Okay. I'll put my 2 cents in, then I'll throw it out to the community. Looking at everything we have here, being up on the property area itself, I don't see a problem. I do thank Gothic for volunteering. I do appreciate that. I think both communities appreciate it. Excuse me. I don't see a problem with the way Tim has put in his proposal. I understand it didn't get a second at this time. I don't see the sense in asking the sub-community to accept the cost at this time, not only in good faith to each other and in business, but also just the way we got to get this done. We started this in good faith. I want us to finish this in good faith. With that said, I take this out to the community. Yes, ma'am.
You want to say something? Absolutely. We are trying to develop a relationship with Solera for $2,000 out of a $5 million budget for major. Seriously, this is not worth the discussion point. It's $2,000. It is an area where the master community and Solera butt up against. Suck it up for $2,000 and just get it done. Is my 2 cents worth. It's not worth this aggravation and B, the aggravation of Solera and the homeowner. Let's think about him. Rains are coming. Winter is coming. Get it done.
Winter. Can I see summer first? Please.
Winter is coming.
Anyone else in the community?
I'm with Michelle on it. Get it done. They're already paying double. Solera's already paying double, so to speak.
Okay.
HOA.
I understand what you're saying on that. I thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Excuse me?
I'd like to amend the motion that I made that since it's been explained better to me, that it's not all aesthetics, that the master pay the balance due of $8,210 and complete the project.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second. In other words, Goffin will.
Yes.
Okay, I'll second.
That's not that absorbing.
Huh?
That's us paying
We pay the 2,000?
it. Correct. That's what Michelle just said. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, the master pay.
I'll second.
Second, okay. Again for the last time, any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, by a vote of the board, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carried. We'll do the work.
Thank you. Thank you, Solera. We appreciate it.
I'll send you a bill. The next item up, which is information only, the Desert Lily Erosion Project. Some of us were up there this morning, taking a look at it with the Solera people and an engineer. I will turn this over to, you're going to hand it to me. Thank you very much. What am I looking at? Oh, all the red lines. Red lines. I am so colorblind and you're going to have me read red lines.
Let me help you out, Bob. It depends on what you want to start with. The cooperative agreement between the two associations. Tim, you're holding Tim's red line. I did not receive any more from anyone else. So we need, especially with timing, we're trying to work quickly with monsoon coming. If you'll all take a look at this, and Tim, if you want to go over your red lines on the cooperative, explain anything that would be good.
Well, item 6 is the first one I got, and I'm changing it. Basically, based on our discussion this morning, I go back to the original writing, which is 50. It's the Johnson Ranch and Solera shall each pay 50% of the cost of removing and disposing of the vegetative material, which is the original proposal. So I'm getting rid of based on the review we had this morning. And then, let's see. And then number 7, Johnson, again, I come up with a new wording. Johnson Ranch and SJC shall pay 50% of the cost of excavating, grading, and transporting the silk by the contractor. So basically changing 6 and 7 to 50-50 deals.
Instead of proportionate, you mean?
Instead of proportionate, which is again based on what we looked at this morning, and logic being it is about 50% based on what we looked at this morning. So, and then number 9, the riprap, again based on what we talked about this morning, will not replace riprap. We'll recover available riprap and place it as appropriate.
Okay. I saw only one item on the...
Oh, not done yet.
Excuse me. Really?
In terms of the cooperative agreement is Johnson Ranch and Solera will jointly agree to the vendor for the contract.
Where's that at?
It's not there. That's brand new. That's brand new thought up between
Then and now.
9 and 5 o'clock today.
Okay. You done?
I think that was it.
Okay. On the RFP, the only thing I saw was under the proposed guidelines.
Are you moving on to that?
Yeah, I just, something I noticed, we're about 4 years off. I'd like to change that from 15 to 19
Where?
in the first paragraph under proposed guidelines. It's not 2015.
Well, I didn't write it, so hang on
I
a
didn't
second.
say that.
See what? I'm trying to see what they're pertaining to. Which one? I'm looking here.
If I may, I think that refers to the permit issue.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find. First paragraph says, the plans for that drainage improvement that were dated July 12th, so that was for then. Is that the one right here, Bob?
No, I'm talking about farther down, the proposed guidelines.
All right, the one that Connie's trying to show me.
First paragraph under the proposed guidelines. You'll accept?
Oh yeah, it'll all be up.
Yeah.
That's all gonna be updated when we get real.
Just trying to keep me honest.
Yeah.
I realize this is for information only. I would like to see the boards of both Solera and Johnson Ranch together on this one. And if we could get a meeting together so that we could iron this out in one last shot and then each board vote so we can get going on this. Again, because of the monsoon season coming up, God forbid we have a fire that makes us have a flood season. I saw the photos, I don't want to see those again. I've done too much work in those areas and I don't like it. But I'd like to see if we can get that done here in the very not too distant future so we can get everything ironed out at one time. Anything else from anybody else on the board?
So you're saying you want to combine them?
I want a combined board.
I think the other thing that needs to be discussed is who's going to run the project. Who's going to be the essentially master contractor? Is it both of us? Is it just Solera? Is it just Johnson Ranch? Yeah.
You'd like to get that at that time? Okay, we can work that at that time.
Okay.
Make it painless for me, please. Okay, Sandy, anything for you? No. Okay, Allison? Okay, management?
Yeah. Clarification. Remove and store existing fence panel, leaving all fence posts undisturbed. But then it says right after that, replace fence posts at the end of the project. So we just...
It should say fence posts.
Okay, I just want to know, like, when I'm making the changes for us. Okay, replace fence panels.
Okay.
Hang on. I'm just kidding. Please bid each of the items listed in number 4. Did you potentially mean letter D on that, just so that...
I don't have a copy of it.
Here. I just want to know if, like, when I'm having to redo this, that... Yeah. Well, it says number 4, there's no number 4. So I just want to make sure, did they mean letter D? I just want to...
Oh, yeah. You bet.
Letter D? Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Real quick on okay, we've decided 50% on that. I think the last thing is just on F, haul and remove silt 2. It's basically going to be Edwards and Barnum. I just want to make sure that Trevor was mentioning that maybe like a 2-inch layer of that is not going to be any good. So just as there's an understanding that we're going to try to reuse what we can, but we'll probably lose about 2 inches. So I want to go ahead and make that in there, and then I think the rest is self.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Anything from the community on Desert Lily? Okay. Information only again, Magma Road update. I'll turn this over to Jennifer.
So on Magna Road, we did receive a notice that they are ready to make an offer to us. So we did receive notice from Pinal County that they are ready to
make an offer to us on Magma Road. And we did tell them that we would need to do it at a board meeting, so they would need to attend that. So they have agreed to come to March 14th meeting. May, sorry, it's May. The year's flying by too fast. So May 14th, 2 or 3 of them will be coming out to do that in our session at that time. Did you want to go into the appraisal part?
So we were tasked with getting our own appraiser on this project. We do want to halt on that for just a moment, because in talking with some appraisers, Jennifer had one share that they would do a review for $500, which I think is amazing, and then that would go towards an actual appraisal if they